What?
Tom Bower is a very famous man who writes books about people's lives. He is like a detective who looks for big secrets that are hidden away from the public. He just found something that is very hard to believe. He discovered a secret truth about a little girl named Lilibet. This new information changes the whole story we were told before. What he found is totally different from what everyone in the whole wide world was told back in the summer of the year 2021. This is a very big deal for everyone who follows the news. It makes people wonder if the story they heard at first was really the right one or if there is a lot more to it. He is a person who investigates things very carefully. When he looks into a secret, he spends a lot of time making sure he has the right details. He wants to know exactly what happened and why it happened. This time he was looking for things that other people might have missed. He is known for finding out things that powerful people might want to keep quiet. Because he is so famous for this, people listen very closely when he has something new to say about the royal family. What he found was so surprising that it made people gasp. It was not just a little mistake or a tiny detail. It was something unbelievable that made people stop and think. When something is unbelievable, it means it is very hard to imagine it is true. But he says he has the proof to show that it is real. This is why everyone is talking about his new discovery right now. They want to know if the history books will have to be changed because of what he found out. He found out a truth about a young girl named Lilibet. Lilibet is the daughter of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. People have been interested in her since before she was even born. Because she is part of a very famous family, every little thing about her life is usually big news. But this truth is different. It is not about what she likes to play with or what she wears. It is a truth that deals with where she came from and how her life story began. This truth is what has everyone so interested and worried. This truth changes the whole story that we have been told. Imagine if you were reading a book and you got to the middle and then you found out the beginning was totally different. That is what is happening here. The story we all thought we knew is being flipped upside down. It makes the things that happened in the past look very different now. People are trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together to see what the new picture looks like. It is a very confusing time for people who follow the royal family. What he found goes against everything the world was told. Back in the summer of 2021, a big announcement was made. Everyone thought they knew the facts about Lilibet's birth. But now this new information says those facts might not be right. When something goes against what you were told, it feels like a big surprise. It makes you feel like you were not told the whole truth. This creates a lot of tension between the Windsors and the people who are asking these very hard questions. The big questions this time are not about normal things. Usually when people talk about the royal family, they talk about family fights. They talk about who is mad at who or who said something mean. They talk about who wore the fanciest dress to a party or who has the most expensive jewelry. But those are not the questions being asked now. The questions people are asking now are much more serious and important than clothes or arguments. Instead, the questions are about official government records. These are not just notes written on a piece of paper. These are very important documents that the government keeps. These papers are used to prove who a person is. They prove where a person was born and who their parents are. Every person has these records. They are the rules that help keep everything organized in the world. When there is a question about these records, it is a very big problem because the government relies on them to be 100% true. Every single time a baby is born in the United States, something special happens. The government gives that baby something called a digital fingerprint. Now, this is not a real fingerprint made with black ink on a tiny thumb. Instead, it is a very long string of numbers. This string of numbers is put on the baby's birth certificate. These numbers stay with the baby forever. They are a way for the government to keep track of everyone and make sure everyone is who they say they are. These numbers are very important and they are not chosen by accident. The government has a very strict system for picking these numbers. They don't just throw numbers together because they look good. Every single part of that long number has a special meaning. If you know how to read the numbers, you can find out a lot of information. It is like a secret code that tells a specific story about that baby's life and where they started their journey in this big world. For example, the first 3 numbers are what people call an area code. Just like a phone number has an area code to show what city you are in, a birth certificate has one too. These 3 numbers tell the government exactly which state the baby was in when they first opened their eyes. It shows exactly where they were when they entered the world. If you were born in one state, your code will be different from someone born in a different state. This helps the government keep very good records. If a person is born in the sunny state of California, their special state code is always 104. This is a rule that has been true for a very long time. It is not something that changes from day to day. It helps people keep track of where everyone was born. If you see the number 104 at the start of the code, you know for sure that the baby was born in California. It is a simple fact that everyone who works with these papers knows very well. But something very strange happened with Lilibet Diana's birth certificate. When her papers were shown on the news, some very smart people looked closely at the numbers. These people know a lot about how the government works. They noticed something that looked like a big mistake. It looked like a glitch in a computer program, which is when a computer does something it is not supposed to do. The numbers did not match what they expected to see, and that started a huge mystery. Her code was not 104. Even though everyone was told she was born in California, the number 104 was not there. Instead, her code was 105. This might seem like a very small difference to some people. After all, it is only one number higher, but in the world of official records, it is actually a very big deal. It is like writing your name wrong on a test. One small change can make the whole thing incorrect. This one number changed everything about where she was born. If you look at the official rule book that the United States government uses, the number 105 does not belong to California at all. That number actually belongs to the state of Colorado. This is where the story gets really interesting and a little bit scary. People were told that Lilibet was born at a place called the Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital. This hospital is right by the ocean in California. It is a very beautiful place. But the number 105 points to a place far away. If her birth certificate has a 105 code, it means the paper trail is leading people 1,000 miles away. It leads all the way to the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. That is a very long distance from the ocean in California. It makes people wonder what really happened. Did someone just make a silly mistake when they were typing? Or is this number the first real proof that the story we were told is not the whole truth? Numbers do not have feelings. They do not pick sides. They just tell the facts. Right now, those numbers are pointing directly toward Colorado. In most cases, when someone tells you a story, you can check the facts. If a baby is born in a certain city, there is supposed to be a public record. It is the law that every birth must be registered. This way, the government knows the baby exists and can help them. However, people who are looking into this story say they have run into a major problem. They are trying to find the truth, but it is being kept away from them. When they tried to find the official birth record for Lilibet in California, they hit a metaphorical brick wall. This means they could not move forward at all. It was like a wall was standing in their way. They could not find any information about her birth in the place they were told to look. One person who was investigating this spent 25 minutes on a phone call with the office that keeps birth records. He was just looking for a tiny bit of proof that the birth happened where Harry and Meghan said it did. But the office gave him a very strange answer. Instead of giving him the birth record, they gave him a paper called a Certificate of No Public Record. People call this a CNP for short. You should think about how strange that is. We live in a world where every move the royal family makes is watched by cameras. Yet the state of California is basically saying they have no idea who this child is. If there is no official record under that name, it leads to a very scary question. If the newspapers were showing us a birth certificate, whose paper was it really? Was it a real government document that belongs to Lilibet? Or was it just a placeholder? A placeholder is like a pretend version of something. It is used to keep people from asking too many difficult questions until the real thing shows up. In every big mystery, there is usually a person who saw what happened. In this story, that person might be a woman named Dr. Melissa Drake. She was a very famous doctor in Santa Barbara. Everyone said she was the one who helped bring Lilibet into the world. Her patients really liked her. She was known as a Wonder Woman because she was so good at her job. She was very well known in her community, but then something very weird took place. Just as people started asking loud questions about the birth certificate and the 105 code, Dr. Drake made a shocking announcement. She suddenly said she was closing her office and stopping her work as a doctor. She only gave her patients 10 days of notice before she left. In the world of doctors, giving only 10 days of notice is almost never done. It usually takes many months to close a practice like hers. Mothers who were expecting babies very soon were left in a panic. They wondered why their favorite doctor was disappearing so quickly. Dr. Drake told everyone she needed to quit a focus on her health, but some people think there is a lot more to the story than just that. Her husband actually runs a very expensive fertility clinic. This is a place that helps people have babies when they are having trouble. Some people say the timing of her leaving her job is not just a coincidence. They wonder if she saw something she wasn't supposed to see, or maybe the stress of being part of such a controversial birth was just too much for her to handle. When the main doctor leaves so suddenly,